What's up, Homestead homies? It's Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug.
And I'm Stacy.
And today we're going to show you how we went from this
to this.
Alright guys, so one of the questions that we get a lot of is how we purged, how we got rid of stuff when we lived in our almost 3,000 square foot house, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2 living rooms, blah 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 blah, and then how we got down to an 800 square foot cabin. So Tangi, the caber's wife, was just talking to Stacy, and she wanted to kind of focus in on the clothes. Because obviously, as men know, and there's men guilty of it too, but women have a hard time
letting go
with clothes. I mean, they collect them, they like them. A lot of them have clothes with the tag still on them that they don't wear.
My aunt still has shoes and clothes and coats and things from 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, but that stuff's coming back in fashion. We might need to
always does. That's what they always say. Right?
We need to go raid her stuff and put it on Craigslist. All right, so we're going to talk about how we did it and give you guys some tips, so maybe it'll work for you. So tip number 1.
The way we tried to kind of get rid of some of our clothes was we picked all natural fibers.
Right.
So if it was 100% cotton, 100% linen, 100% wool, 100% cashmere, those are the fibers that we wanted, 100%.
Right.
And then that way, when I was going through, because, we were, very holistic. We wanted to stay as healthy as we could because it's going to be against your skin. You're wearing it all the time. Any kind of like lycra, spandexy kind of stuff, I tried to not have.
She had
anymore.
Spandex pants like you.
Well, yeah, because I used to. So we tried to kind of purge that.
That's what we did do. We didn't kind of.
And that's what helped me really kind of get a big bulk, and it was kind of sickening to see, rayon, polyester, cotton, this mix, this blend, all these different things to get rid of all that. So that was a great way
to start
to
the ball.
do it. And then that way, I mean, it really got rid of a lot of things. So then, and especially like when you look at your underwear and your bras and your t-shirts and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we knew, I'm not going to have a lot of room, and then I want all this natural fiber on my body. So that's kind of what helped us. So that kind of got rid of a lot of stuff to start off with.
That started it off.
Big helper.
All right, now tip number 2. If you don't touch it in a year, you should get rid of it. Because we know, like I said, that there's people out there that still have clothes with the tags on them. And this consumer mentality that all of us were brought into and trained into, got to have more, buy it on sale. It's a sale, you can't pass it up. You know what I'm talking about. That you get rid of it, and you get rid of your multiples. Okay? So like tip number 2 is, if you haven't touched it in a year, you should get rid of it.
Right, and if you have 4 red shirts.
Yeah. Pick 1 or maybe 2 that you like and get rid of the other 2. So these are all steps that are going to get you to basically where we are now. Because in our other house, we had a dresser that was like one big dresser. It was, I don't know, it had like 10 drawers on the bottom and then like 10 or 15 drawers on the top. It was
like 2 dressers on top of each other that took up a whole wall.
I mean, it had the carvings on the end. It was crazy.
I mean, we had so much stuff. Closets all over the house. Everything was filled.
Yep. Hall room closet, front door closet, on and on with closets and all of them.
More dust, more things.
The hanger business got a hold of us, and they wanted to know what was wrong because their profits went down.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So.
And here was another one: is if you ever have to take anything to the cleaners, it's got to go. It has to be something.
We don't do cleaners, nothing anymore. We used to do heavy cleaners, and just think about all those chemicals.
Yeah. Well, then there's natural cleaners too.
I know, but they're high dollar too, and they're not as prevalent. You don't find them as you got to really hunt them out. Right. So that would be the other thing is, if you don't touch it, get rid of it. So we started purging all the stuff we hadn't worn in a while, extra shoes that we hadn't worn in a while, shoes that were already kind of worn out, got rid of them, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because how many pairs of tennis shoes can you have? I mean, you might have like a around the yard one, and then one that you might want to exercise in or do whatever you're going to do in. Same for your dress shoes. You have your pair of dress shoes, you have your boots. Because now, like with us, what we were and what we are now, you're much more practical. everything, it's not about, you're much more practical. You know, is that going to help me, you know, keep the rain off of me? Are my feet not going to get wet? So, you know, you have your one pair of good boots.
Instead of being like socially acceptable, now it's practical and what's useful on the homestead.
Well, and what's nice is even when we go out, people that live around here are the same way. They're out in their muck boots or going wherever they're going, you know, and they're practical.
And we still have a couple of city slicker outfits that we can wear so we blend in with the masses, you know, so we don't stand out too much.
Not always. He still goes city slicker with his outfits.
I do keep a pair of Levi's, and I do wear them sometimes.
Yeah, he has, that was another thing. You know, you have so many pairs of blue jeans.
Tip number 3.
Yeah, you don't need so many pairs of blue jeans. So he has one pair. We got rid of everything. This was before he had all of his clothes made, but he got rid of all of his blue jeans but one pair.
Yeah.
Just to have, just in case. And then, same thing. I mean, I really, the big one for us was, I think, the natural fibers.
Yeah, that was good.
But it's harder, and it causes you to even look at the labels. When you want to really look at the labels and see, you know, even when you're going to buy something again, it'll say, oh, that's a cute shirt. And then I go look at it and like, oh, I can't get it.
So, and then one of the things that we look at now is like the functionality of the clothes, like 100% cotton and stuff like that rolls up very nice for storage. So right now we only have 2 dressers.
That would be tip.
Is that a tip? Tip 4!
Is it 4 or 3?
Yeah. Everything that we have now is in 2 dressers. She has a dresser. And I have a dresser with 2 long dressers and 2 short dressers, drawers at the top that I keep socks and underwear, t-shirts in, and then the other 2 are just pants and shirts. But it's made, but everything that we have now, you know, we're not stressed out or worried of being wrinkled or anything like that. So we roll up a lot of things. Stacy learned a good amount of rolling and tucking from Harley riding.
Right. When we would travel, you have your saddlebags that are. You have to roll your stuff up good. So we got good at that, rolling our stuff.
The first time I bought my Harley, right? This is before I knew Stacy. And I went on this trip with the guys, and we were going to South Dakota to Sturgis. It was my first time ever going, right? So the guys all came to my house where I was at, and I had my bike out front, and I had a basically like a bedroll and you know, just one other little thing of my clothes, like rolled up on the front of the handlebars, right? Because I had watched all those movies and that's how they rolled. And those guys came there with like these great big backpacks and everything was on the back of their sissy bars and everything. And they're like, dude, where's your stuff? And I'm like, it's right there. So the first time I went to Sturgis, that's how I went. And let me tell you, we went to Yellowstone. I know I'm digressing a little bit here, but it's a funny story. But we went to Yellowstone, and then we went to Yosemite. And that night in Yosemite was so cold that I just got up and I told the guys, man, I'm out of here, and I went home.
You drove home from there.
I did. I split from there because they had tents and they had sleeping bags and they had all that stuff, and I was just like, I roughed it that night, but I was like, I'm out of here, man. So I just jumped on my bike and went home. Because after that, no, that was in the Grand Tetons. After that, they were going to Yosemite. So but it was something like that. But
well, then it wasn't the next year?
I think it was Yosemite.
Married, and then we had our honeymoon in Sturgis.
Yeah, we went to Sturgis.
Yeah, but we were a little more prepared then. We kind of know what's up.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
rolling your clothes.
Yeah, we roll.
Rolling your clothes. There's an art form to it. You can roll it, and you can really store like, because you know, like when you buy underwear and the packs and they're rolled really good, and then they tape them.
That's why.
It's the same kind of principle. You kind of roll your stuff and then set it in there. And when we travel or anything, it's just a great way to store your things. You can get so many T-shirts, your slacks, my skirts. Yeah. Oh, it's just great. And I really like, for me, those skirts, you know, made in India that are 100% cotton, because when they get wrinkly, they still look fine. Great. So
we're not all bent up on the wrinklies and all that anymore. But if we have to go into town, a funeral, or you know, whatever kind of stuff like that, we have little tricks and things that we do that can kind of straighten out the stuff. But you know, we don't. It's been, I think, 1 or 2 times in 5 years since we had to do anything kind of wear those kind of clothes. So.
Yeah, and it's just good when you are, you know, picking and choosing what you're going to get rid of. Is, you know, you usually need more tops. And then if you just have, you know, a couple things on the bottom, that's why I always wear a black, because a black skirt or whatever goes with millions of different, you know, tops.
Right.
So same for you, you know, he just has, He just has a bunch of shirts that are like these cotton colors.
Because you guys think I'm wearing the same shirt every day. I am.
He has more than one.
I do have more than one, but they're all the same material. I just buy the bulk material and then I have them made for me. So, but that's, you know, how we did the clothes. I mean, you just have to take a hard look at the clothes that you have, the space that it takes up, and start purging that. Once you start purging that and you feel that release, because really you don't think it's causing you like these mental anguishes, but it really is. I mean, when you start purging that, then you'll move on to like your drawers in your kitchen, and then you're just going to keep going, and as you keep doing it, then you're like, are going to look around and you're going to think, man, maybe our house is too big. You know, the whole family is always dispersed in the house, one way over here, one way over here, and now we're in an area where you can talk and be social and hang out more. So as you keep purging, as you keep moving this stuff.
Let's talk about coats.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about coats because they take up a lot of space.
A lot of space.
A lot of space.
And you don't wear all those coats. We had so many coats.
I love coats.
She would come home with coats.
Had coats.
They were on sale.
Love coats. So that outerwear was like I love it. So we have like little horseshoe hooks here.
Yeah.
And what we do is, like in the wintertime, you have your icky coat, you know, that's your farm coat. We have that, and then we have a coat, a little nicer coat.
Right.
So, and that's kind of how we do it, and then we'll have like one more, a nice dressier coat.
I just have one coat. It's a blue jean Amish made.
You have two. You have the lighter one, and then you have the heavier one.
You said winter.
Yeah. So, and we just keep our coats, and we keep them hanging actually in the...
Because we use them.
Yeah, you use them all the time. Because we had so many coats, it took a lot of storage for me to store all my coats. And the other thing is, when we moved here, because he hasn't done it yet, I wanted him to make me like a little closet upstairs, but it hasn't been done. So we had no way to hang anything. So that would alleviate a lot of the things that we had.
She's still waiting on the window boxes.
Yeah, I keep asking him about them. I want to put some stuff in my window box.
So when we left that house and we moved out here, we know obviously we went to the one-bedroom apartment first. That was our launching pad. But we sold everything. The only thing we brought a little bit of stuff more than we have here to the one-bedroom apartment. But when we left that one-bedroom apartment, we left with the futon and the table that we have that you've seen in our videos, especially on our inside the tour of the $15,000 log cabin, blah blah, that I'll link right here. But that is the only thing that we kept from all that stuff, and we've been doing just fine. Yeah,
and the other thing, it totally was. And then you just kind of build from there, and we put things that fit in our house.
Yeah.
But other thing we were talking about clothes is housewares. You know, things like the dishes.
Your utensil-y stuff.
That's another one that takes forever. Because if you guys have moved before, you know how long it takes to move your kitchen?
And our kitchen had like freaking 1,000 cabinets and 20 drawers. I mean, she was trying to fill it all up.
And yeah, I did a good job of it too.
Yeah.
So I am just thinking, what are the utensils that I need to use every day?
Right.
So I got rid of tons of everything, you know, and that really helped me a lot. I mean, how many forks do you really need? How many spoons do you really need? You know, you need, this big spoon or this. And another thing that was good is, I did get some bamboo, some nice wooden spoons and things like that. And I tried to also got rid of any plastic.
Yep.
That helps you get down. It needed to be like your stainless steel.
Steel or wood.
Right. So it had to be, and so I got rid of all the plastics. No plastics. Nothing. No Tupperware, no nothing. Everything had to be glass or, ceramic. Something that was natural.
Yep.
So that kind of helped me downsize on that. Got rid of a lot of utensils. Gave them to people who needed them.
Goodwill again.
Right.
Tons of stuff we sold on Craigslist, outside of our clothes. Tons of stuff we sold on Craigslist. We had garage sales like 2 weekends back to back.
Yeah, all of our stuff.
Our goal was to leave with nothing. We had like this, we didn't even have a U-Haul truck. We had one of those, the smallest container thing that they would bring and drop off in the driveway. What was that thing called? Do you remember?
No, they have so many different companies that
yeah, it was just like one of them deals where they drop the container off, and it was like, whatever doesn't fit in here is not coming with us. So we got it in there, took that to the apartment, unloaded it, and then everything else we totally sold. We had people rolling in and out of our house like crazy.
Yeah, everything. He was on the computer and he put everything on Craigslist. We sold everything, everything. Things that you would never think you could sell.
Yep.
tried it. Poof. And then if there's big things, and this was the other thing, if there was big things, you just put on there free, and people will come get it.
Well, as long as they didn't have too much value. I mean, I wouldn't.
No, if it was something you couldn't really sell.
Right.
And then you just
like we had a gym set in the basement, right? A whole. What did we do with that?
We sold that.
Yeah, somebody came and picked that up.
We sold everything. We had a whole gym downstairs.
I mean, that was crazy. It was just crazy. So, anyways, this video was just about challenging you guys and telling you kind of our story, how we purged.
Purge.
You know, we're a lot freer now.
Even if you're not going off grid.
Now, if we do have anything that comes to the homestead, we have to evaluate it. We have to make sure it's going to be a good fit, and then we even have to get rid of something.
Is it homestead worthy?
Right.
I mean, because you know what, my whole mindset has changed. Because do I want it, or do I actually need it?
Right.
And when I go shopping now, see, before it was just like buy. But now my whole mind has changed. You know,
that's a huge thing for her.
Huge. Do I just want it, or do I really need it for me to live my life, or to make my life a little easier on the homestead? Because, you know, I thought, you know, I never had any time when I was living, you know, on grid. Now, I mean, I'm like, I don't have time really. I don't have any time now. But, you know, things that can help me in the kitchen or whatever, you know, I really appreciate. And that is, you know,
then they're all saying, then why don't you have electricity? So yeah, that makes everything faster and easier.
Not really, because, you know, a lot of my kitchenware, you know, the little hand chopper and all that, I mean, it's really not hard. Yeah.
All right, guys, so we're just challenging you right now. After you watch this video, don't click on and watch another video, except you're watching the one that we linked there.
Do you want it or need it?
Yeah, so go and do a purge right now. Go get your clothes and look at the stuff that's polyester blends and stuff like that, and start, you know, and don't shake them out and look at them and say, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this, and then you go, oh, well, maybe I'll wear that one, you know. Just, you know, do the purge, get rid of it. Someone else out there probably needs it more than you do anyways. And start there, and then start with your kitchen drawers, and then just kind of start purging and just see where it takes you, and see if it makes a difference for you or not. So this is just another fun video addressing a question that we get, a couple tips for you guys on downsizing, and hopefully you enjoyed it. We got more stuff coming, no worries. And that's it. This is Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug.
And I'm Stacy.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya. I mean, women are hormonal creatures, and especially in this day and time with a lot of the xenoestrogens.